polling place so that voting can begin, and then we prepare a full set of supplies and get those out midday. I can also share with you that we did analysis the weekend before the election, and we did print additional regular ballots for about 30 precincts that on election day we sent out to those precincts using LA County Sheriff's Patrol to get those out in anticipation of those shortages. In the end of the day, I believe there were a handful, a small number of precincts out of 4,500 that ultimately had to switch over to use emergency ballots for certain ballot stock. Again, as we certify the election, we'll have more concrete records on that. There are too many ballots left to be counted. This is one that continues to get a lot of attention. The reality in California, because we have a large number of voters who vote by mail and we have a very open election system, the reality is that it typically in a statewide election, primary or general, 1/3 of the votes that will be counted in the election still remain to be counted after election day. This election's no exception to that. We estimated the day after the election approximately 600,000 ballots in LA County that remain to be processed. That's a combination of vote by mail ballots that were dropped off at polling places on election day, provisional ballots that were cast at polling places that will be checked and those that are validated will be counted, and vote by mail ballots that came in the mail during the final days. And this was the first election season where the new law in California that allows for vote by mail ballots that are postmarked on election day but received within 3 days of the election remain valid as well. We did our first update of election results on Friday. We'll do our second one this afternoon and again Friday this week, and we'll do that twice a week through the canvass period. With regard to provisional ballots, I think this is an unfortunate area in this particular campaign season or election where a lot of misinformation was out there. We are at the tail end of the presidential primary cycle in the nation, and California has very open provisional ballot regulations as opposed to many states that have restrictive provisional ballot rules. Provisional ballots in California are the fail-safe method of voting. I'm not going to pretend to say that it's a great experience to get a provisional ballot, but what I will tell you is that the provisional ballots are a form of enfranchisement in California. They are that fail-safe that says if you're at a polling place and they can't find you in the roster, they're not going to turn you away. They're going to allow you to vote. If you say that you did not return a vote by mail ballot, but for some reason the record shows that you did, we're again not going to turn you away, say you can't vote. We're going to give you a provisional ballot so that we can research that. Statistically in LA County and across California, but LA County specifically, 85 to 90% of provisional ballots are validated and counted during the certification period. The number of provisional ballots issued in this primary, while high, was not exceedingly high compared to other high-profile, high-volume elections. And again, given the nature of the campaign and the presence of presidential candidates here in the county leading up to this election, I think at the end of this canvass, the validity of those provisional ballots will turn out to be an indication that we made sure that every valid vote was counted in LA County. Again, I will say that our hope in the future is for a more modernized system that would minimize the need for provisional ballots, but comparatively to other states where they have very low rates of validation, California does validate and count provisional ballots at a very high rate. Vote counting has been slower than usual. I think this was an assertion made specifically about election night. We did work through election night. I think our official, semi-official final result didn't come out till about 5 in the morning the day after the election. Part of that is simply the geography of this county. 4,500 locations that have to get back centrally to Norwalk. We utilize helicopters through the LA County Sheriff's Department and patrol cars to do that, going first from those 4,500 locations to 72 check-in centers and then back to Norwalk. We did employ some new ballot accountability features in our ballot path at the central headquarters this year. Those were intended to ensure that we could account for all the ballots that went through all of those changes. That did slow the process down, as well as a higher number of write-in votes. So we will analyze those issues and ensure that we take steps to increase the speed to the extent we can without sacrificing accuracy and accountability in the November election. Again, the post-election canvasses are on schedule and are operating as published. This one, LA County called the election before all votes were counted. I want to be really clear on the record here that LA County, the registrar's office or the county in general, we're not in the business of calling the outcome of the election. We don't do that. We count the votes and we certify the votes. And by law, there's a 30-day period post-election process to do that. The election results are not certified and official in LA County until that process is done. So while the media, of course, in this particular presidential campaign environment, was eager to make calls about the election results, that is not a process that we have any official role in.
That's good.
So again, just to summarize, we are a county, we are the largest elections jurisdiction in the United States. We have 4.8 million registered voters. About 1.7 million of those who are permanent vote-by-mail voters, spread out of 4,500 locations on election day. Our system is, in California, I will say that California has made great strides in its election laws, opening up the election process, ensuring that voters have access to voter registration, that they have access to options for receiving a ballot. Where we have more work to do in the state of California, and LA County has been working on this very hard, is matching that openness with a process on election day that allows for that to happen efficiently. So it doesn't make sense that we have voter registration that stays open until 15 days before the election, but we have to print those rosters 25 days before the election. We should have a system where those poll workers have access to look up that information in real time and get it. And we have a plan to get there. It's just going to take time to do that. So again, I just want to state that we are working very hard on the post-election certification. We'll count a high number of additional ballots today. We take very seriously the reports of issues that people encountered on election day. We know that, again, in the vast majority of our locations, we believe and have a good record that things operated well. But again, that doesn't change the individual impact for a voter, especially a new voter who is not familiar with the process. And we will continue to do what we believe is necessary to improve that process and serve the voters of LA County.
Great. Any questions from board members? Yes, Supervisor.
There was a problem in the ballots the sample ballots being received in time for people to respond by requesting for an absentee ballot. I know at my home, we didn't get a ballot until about 14 days before the election.
So on the sample ballot mailings, legally, those have to be out by 10 days before the election. I agree with you, that is not enough time for a voter to turn that around with a vote-by-mail request. We tried to compensate for that through online vote-by-mail request and through a will call ballot program that we piloted for this election. I think that worked well in this election. We'll probably expand that for November. I also think in November, because we had different party ballots, so there were so many versions of the sample ballot based on the partisan primary, that delayed the production and distribution of those. We should not experience that in November because it is a single ballot form.
And of the approximately, 60,000 ballots still to be counted, you've already counted approximately, 30,000?
We counted 66,000 additional ballots on Friday. I don't have the count for today. Today's count should be significantly more than that.
So you're going to be releasing those results every Tuesday and Friday?
Correct. So we will start at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We'll start today's run. As soon as we finish all the ballots that are ready to be counted, we will publish that report and put it out in the media and social media as well.
So you probably have at least 2 more weeks of counting.
That's correct. We will go through, we are scheduled to certify the election on July 1st. Again, this week and next week will be large updates. As we get further towards the end of the certification, it becomes the more tedious ballots to take further review. We do exhaust a lot of effort to make sure that every valid vote is counted, and we will be finished on July 1st.
And when you released your ballots count, will you also release how many have to still be counted in each of the various areas of the county? Or would it just be a raw number?
We will, when we do the release twice a week, we will include an updated estimate on the number of ballots that remain to be processed. Getting that down to the individual district level can be difficult. We have the ability to do that. What we typically do is take specific requests for specific districts, and then we have reports prepared based on that. So typically that is around the contests, of course, that are closed.
And your release time is at 4:30?
We start the update at 1 o'clock, and then we release as soon as that's done. So today it is likely to be 4:30 because of the volume. As we get further in the canvas, that will probably be earlier on those dates.
Thank you.
Supervisor Keel?
Dean, we talked a lot about what we were thinking of doing for the future. We were looking to the 2018 election, and of course beyond. And you were talking about various things to consider, one of which was expanding the number of days that, which of course we would all have to agree to so that people could vote over a weekend, and various numbers of ways that people could enter their ballots. Do you think that that will more complicate or uncomplicate the kinds of issues we've had? I understand in the gubernatorial election, we don't have the same kind of partisan issue
Right.
as we do with the federal rules about